person, you must focus mostly on the heart. And the people who can deal with that are the faith leaders. Hence, the Communist Party is acknowledging that fact, that all the Marxists do acknowledge that a man is made by two components, the material being and the spirit, and they are unable to fix the spirit. And the faith organization are the only people who can deal with the spirit so that a new person is constructed and a new society is built. Hence, scientifically as Communist Party, we think it's important for us to start this session, this lesson by the chairperson of the ANC, by inviting the Reverend to ask apa meeting abe nani as individuals, abe nani xa niphuma apha, abe nani ngepasika anisikelele. Umfundisi akwenza loo nto, umfundisi.
Siyabulela nje. Andina endinga benakho Yesu Allow me to greet you all in the name of Jesus. Dikahlela kwinkulumoso yethu Tatu Mabuyani esimthandayo ngegama lenkosi Yesu. Amen. We are just going to pray. Otata omkhulu, they used to sing iculo lithi liza lisidinga lakho Thixo. Kwimeko babekuyo in that situation, they had that hope that one day uThixo uyalizalisekisa idinga lakhe. Before I pray, I will just read Psalm 23. uYehova ngumalusi wami andisweli lutho. The Lord is my shepherd, and I shall not want. Die Here is my herder. If Jesus is your shepherd, ufuna ntona yinto. He is the one who is protecting us. He is the one who is looking after our leaders. He is the one who is looking after our family. That's Jesus Christ. And without him, akho sinoyenza. That's why we are going to pray now and ask the Holy Spirit to visit us. Sizamcela umoya ingcwele xa uYesu uzabethelelwa ngomso angene nathi namhlanje apha. Ancede umbutho wesizwe, umbutho weANC. We are praying for you. Nkulunkulu, we are praying for you. Siyanithandazela madoda. Sihlele emthandazweni sithi uThixo makasincede. Come, let us pray. Let us bow our head and pray. Baba wethu ingcwele noyinkosi enguYesu. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this privilege of coming together. Thank you for this fellowship of coming under this roof. Bawo wethu namandla. Siyacela ke Nkosi sizawuqala. Take your glory. Bless each and every one who called today in the mighty name of Jesus. We are so happy to see our Premier. We are praying for him and his family. You protect him. You bless him. Lord Jesus, you are the only one who's our hope. Siyacela ke bawuthandeka wonke umuntu olapha nogulayo makaphile egameni likaYesu. Umoya obugqirha ndiyawukhalimela ngegama likaYesu. Umoya ongendawo siyawukhalimela in the mighty name of Jesus. We paralyze all the pillars of the devil. Siyachitha kumbuso kaSathana egameni lamandla egama likaYesu. Phakama simakade Nkosi yamakhosi liwala phakade in Jesus mighty name. Amen.
Comrades, thanks Mfundisi. The chairperson of the ANC, Comrade Maboyane, the chairperson of the ANC at the region, Comrade Babalo, the leadership of the Communist Party here present, the leadership of COSATU here present, the leadership of SANCO, YCL, and members of all these organizations who are part of us here, and those whom we know that they are supposed to be here, but time has not allowed them to be here. Siyanibulisa. Ndimo uzawuqhuba le program from now up to the end. My name is Tobile Mabelonke Mapelo Ndola. Ndingusihlalo we-Communist Party apha kule district. Imbuyiselo ngone district yayiqalwe ndim ndingunobhala wayo. Ndizogqibezela umsebenzi wami endandiwuqalile. Andiyindawo. Ndicinga into okokuba ezinye zezinto ezibalulekileyo kukwazi into yoba uchairman apha uzokwenza ilesson ngoKhrisiyani inkokheli yamakomanisi nowaye ikhomanda yomkhonto wesizwe. uKhrisiyani ke wayene-covenant. I-covenant is different from the contract. I-covenant ayiphulwa nase-court. Yile nto yenza imitshato yakudala uba ingophulwa because imitshato yakudala ayingeyo-contract, ayizi-covenants. Le yamaphepha zii-contracts iyophulwa nangoomantyi. uKhrisiyani wayenolo covenant ke nomnqophiso nabantu abangenanto nabasebenzi ukuba uyawufa apho bafa khona. Wakhokhela lo mbutho wamakomanisi. Ibalulekile loo nto uba sizole siyi-understande loo nto into yoba enye yezinto uKhrisiyani awayenza ukukhulula abantu abangenanto kweli lizwe kukuba yimember ye-African National Congress akuba ikwayinkokheli yayo. It's important to know that. Nangona engazanga aphathe esikhafuthini kodwa kwimbali ubumbona ngamanye amaxesha ehlele ehlathini nabasebenzi abane ebabriefa ebancedisa kumzabalazo wabasebenzi. I-ANC, which was established in 1912, the Communist Party established in 1921. The African National Congress is the oldest liberation movement in the continent. And I guess, and I think I'm correct, that the South African Communist Party is one of the oldest communist party in the continent, established in 1921. The important question I think you have to note is the fact that all these organizations are constituted by human beings, the living beings. A living being is growing. In the process of growing, kuba khona inkqwithelo, kube khona i-floods, and iba mistake any person okhula angadibana ezo nkqwithelo, because usixaka sele phaa lixheko aqale ukwenza into zabantwana. So ANC igqithe kuzo zonke ezo nkqwithelo ingaphandle nangaphakathi kwi-UDF, kwakhona ii-tensions ngaphandle, yakwazi ANC ukuphumelela kuloo nto, ne-communist side ihamba ne-ANC. Ndiyababona abanye bathe nqa nalesi kuyo ingxaki ayo mistake. It's not a crisis, it's stage of development. Because the ANC, for it to lead all the liberation movement in the world, should also be able to have experience of what are the worst experiences when the liberation movement is in government. It's a stage of development. It's a stage of growth. The only thing we have to do is to ensure that in that development, xa ukhula awuziphindi ezaa zinto zirongo. Nawe xa ukhula ubuqale ukuthandana xa usazawutshata uba nengxaki, ufuna ukubana uqhwesha apha endlini kuba khange uqale ngelaa xesha sesikolweni ukwenza ezaa zinto. Ngoku ukhula apha ubona, hey, mandingangeni ke ngokwapha ndafunda uba ndingatsha. So that's what we must understand about the ANC. And all the problems confronting us is a stage of development. The ANC from this is going to be strong, is going to teach all the liberation movement in the continent that xa ufike kwesi stage, what you do. So what becomes important for us, enye izinto into yokokuba xa kukhona ingxaki emakhaya nakwimibutho, akusiyo solution ukuphuma ekhaya uyokwenza elitsha. I-challenge yaloo nto into yokokuba uyaguga usakha amakhaya amatsha, lingekho ikhaya elikhoyo, because wena xa kusithushwe ekhaya wenza enye indlu entsha. Lungisa le because uyazazi ingxaki zayo, wazi neekona zayo. That's important. Enye yezinto efuna siyiqaphele, bonke aba bantu abaphumileyo benza imibutho ngaba lapha ekhaya. Bazawufika kule agency ifikelele mhlawumbe bangafiki ngokufika because bangafa bengafikanga kula meko. So funa sibacenge siba understand ba ezi zinto zibenza baphume zezinto sizilungisayo. Sibanqwanqwade babuyele ekhaya, because there is absolutely no way forward other than the unit of the oppressed. Asizukhuleka beMzantsi Afrika thina abantu bacinezelweyo singakhange sidibane. So that is very important. But without wasting your time, our program is not long. It was just to tell you that this is a commemoration ka Hani. We understand but sicommemorate ngexesha elibi. Sikwixesha le-4th Industrial Revolution. Ingxaki kaloo nto xa ufuna uyifunda bojonga yayinjani yokuqala neyesibini neyesithathu. Zazi labor intensive. Le less labor intensive is robot intelligence, is center yayo. Is our replacing imisebenzi. So we are dealing with that. Enye izinto masi understand into yoba kubi nyhani ngoku. Sisuka kwi-COVID, kukhona nale meko sikuyo ngoku iqala ngoku. Kuthiwa ilanga likude nomhlaba. Inegama ebizwa ngayo loo nto. Kuthiwa ke into zadibana nazo izawuba yifiva, ibe lukhohlo, ibe zi-short breath, abanye basweleke ngenxa yaloo nto. So all those natural phenomenons are also created by men. We have a lot of unemployment, is 66% now, more than 80% young people, and we must therefore become aware that all these challenges cannot be resolved by the state alone. Each and every individual has a role. If awuyazi une-role yoba ungalahli iphepha phantsi wena, ulifake with-dustbin. That's what we're supposed to do. We are not supposed to siklinwe ngurhulumente. Nezikolo ezenzileyo kumele ziklinwa sithi nee-clinics. We're supposed to participate on that. There's a lot we have to do on ourselves without the state. And one other thing we have to deal with is the syndrome of dependence with state as if there's nothing we can do. The state must therefore support our endeavors. Masivuke sizenzele urhulumente axhase loo nto. Because I think that's one of the problem we have. Mfundisi enkosi, because part of the problem, Mfundisi, apha kule society yethu is a fundamental demon of greediness. That demon ke Mfundisi xa uyilanda yiyo le isuke eDen xa uyilanda wena. Yile ke ibangela bekhona i-sexism, i-racism, regionalism, And everything eyenza uba wena ube nezinto ezininzi xa ufuna uyijustify i-greediness yakho uthi hayi thina singamadoda masibe ngaphezu kwabafazi ujustify uba kutheni ufuna ningamadoda nibe nee-resource ngaphezu kwabafazi. Xa ufuna uyijustify i-greediness ungumlungu uthi kuba simhlophe thina masifumane bhetere kunabantu abamnyama. Xa ufuna ujustify i-greediness uhlala eBhayi uthi makube ngabantu baseBhayi kuphela apha xa ufuna ubususa abaseKaladokhwe nabase-Sandys River. But all the ills of society, all of them, the basic and the source is greediness. Yoyiso Adam ke lanto mfundisi lesithetha ngayo. And loo nto ayenziwa ayizikwenziwa by materialists, iyathandazelwa, because you must change the heart to love everyone. That's a new person. Without wasting your time, our program is very short, as I've said. We are going to ask message of support from Sangoko, YCL, Sanko, Kosatu. Then after that, if you call now Communist Party, your province will give them. Then after that, CA main speaker, Chairperson of African National Congress. Then CISE, Kuno Palawe district, who will give us the mandatory remarks on issues raised by the branches as we're moving across the metro, looking on all the problems. My apologies, I've forgotten the mayor. Because Mfuchan, Usito Ngombe, because you are not tall like us, Mayor. My apologies. I acknowledge your presence. And omnye yazi abantu bangaba nochuku umbona umuntu seyikucaphukela athi because zange uthethe ngam kula meeting. Kanti uyenzile kha ungeyenzanga nga with any other intention. Abantu banochuku ngoku ingakumbi abalambileyo. Without wasting time, let's ask Peter. Oh, Women's League. Oh, sisuka pha sonke. Sisuka apho kuni Women's League. Sonke siphaya siyakhula sibe ngamadoda nibe ngomama bethu. Nibalekile nina. That's why anihlupheki noba ndinibizanga. Anizondi mntu ngaloo nto because I understand abantwana bayalibala. Comrade Peter Wesangoko, message of support. Awubonakali. Amandla. Amandla. Okay. Izinto ke ndiqhuthiza kuzo nokuba ndinyathele abanye kwi-cons. Now ndixolela kuba ndimncinci ndiyafundiswa apha. Yi-age le yam xa ndimdala bendingazuzenza mistakes kuba ndimncinci ndenza mistakes ndiyakhuliswa apha zezinkokheli. Ingathi bakhona bayidatha nento obuncinci bam. Mandicele nje uComrade Cindy introduce abantu abalapha then emva koko size Comrade Peter.
Amandla. Amandla. Viva SACP, viva. Viva ANC, viva. Viva YCL, viva. Viva Youth League, viva. Amandla. Comrades, nabanye ndibabizile. Mine is very short. Enkosi kakhulu Chair. Ndizawukwazisa nje aba bantu balapha ngaphambili. Ekuqaleni apha ndinonobhala weNelson Mandela region uComrade uNqakula nanku ehleli pha ngasemva akafuna uza ngaphambili. Olandelayo ngumama unontombi nama. Umama unama alandelwe ngucomrade uMazwimini. After Comrade Mazwimini, you find our small dynamite, Comrade Eugene Johnson, the mayor of the Nelson Mandela. Kulandele unobhala wembuyiselo ngwenda, uComrade uNombexeza. Emveni koComrade uNombexeza ndizawubiza usihlalo wase Nelson Mandela, uComrade uBabalwa Lobishe Siqoshiqoshi. Emveni kosiqoshiqoshu kulandela usihlalo wembuyiselo ngwenda, uComrade uThobile Ntola uBhele. Emveni kwakhe ndazise kuni uComrade uMonga Peter. Sonke silapha nje ndizokwazisa unumber 1 welphondo. Okuthi xa kuthethwa ngeEastern Cape kuqalwe kuye. uBhejula uComrade uPremier Oscar Mabuyane. Comrades, thank you very much. I would also like to introduce the media houses that are amongst ourselves. I'm not going to, that among ourselves, upper sine media houses, I think there are about 5. Ezilapha ngaphakathi kwethu namkelekile bonondaba. Lo phambi kwenu usekela onobhala wembuyiselo ngwenda uNolusindiso iBitoy. Mandla.
Masicele abantu bafuna ukuzinceda. Comrades, abantu bafuna ukuzinceda, zikhona izinto ezincinci ngapha xa uphuma kula mnyango. Neefowuni zethu sizifake kwi-silent zonke. Xa ungakwazi ukuyifaka yakho mhlawumbi ngutili ngakwazi ungena uyicime. Sicede uComrade Nqakula sikhona isitulo sakhe abangaphambili. Ikhona iVanguard. YiVanguard yabasebenzi le iyakwazi noVanguard nemovement. Sicela azoVanguard wapha ngaphambili.
Wena Bhejula khawuvele. Wena Bhejula khawuvele bo. Omhle kangaka khawuvele. Wena Bhejula khawuvele. Emabuya le khawuvele bo. Emabuya le khawuvele. Emabuya le khawuvele. Omhle kangaka khawuvele. Wena Bhejula khawuvele. Wena Bhejula khawuvele bo. Emabuya le khawuthethe. Emabuya le khawuvele bo. Emabuya le khawuvele. Emabuya le khawuvele bo. Khawuvele. Wena Bhejula khawuvele. Wena Bhejula khawuvele bo. sekangaka khawuveli emabuya nekhawuveli emabuya nekhawujongeni sekangaka khawuveli emaphetshula khawuveli emaphetshula khawuveli sekangaka khawuveli emabuya nekhawuveli emabuya nekhawuveli Petula Kaufel, hi, when I Petula Kaufel, oh, second Kaufel, Emabuya ne Kauchungi, Emabuya ne Kauchungi, oh, second Kaufel, Emabuya ne Kaufel. Emabuya nekhawuveli amandla
amandla awethu amandla awethu. Thank you, Comrade Chairperson. Comrade Duba, ndicinga uba ndim ndedwa okwalifayayo ungazibizi izlogan. Nina ke most right ningazibizi izlogan. Sekuchiwo, comrades, my name is Monga, surname is Peter. I'm the product of this organization. Coincidentally, I owe my ideological political clarity on this organization. But as a veteran, I was asked to demobilize on Tawalabati Mandosha Lapa in Kubela Community Radio. The Kates as Tish. But Abanye and Bokata, the non-profit sector. I'm formerly the secretary for South African NGO Coalition. I know my constituency of SGP. It's a chairperson we province. I am also involved in that space, but my brief is to render a message of support in line with the third day to commemorate the giant whose attributes we all know is that of an uncompromising and a steadfast leader that cares so much about the weak, the vulnerable, and the broader working class community. It has been whispered that my message will have to be directed on the state of affairs that our city is confronted with. Albeit for obvious reasons, I shall not give all out. Safe to say that if we are to represent Comrade Chris, who many, including myself, is fortunate to have interacted, surely we must be concerned about the state of affairs of our city. That is the verse in the King Band is Oishia in celebrating Comrade Chris. Concern is just but one part. But what then do you do after being concerned about the anarchy, the chaos that characterizes the Nelson Mandela Council and the municipality itself? It is none other than what the vanguard have elected to do to express itself. That vanguard, being the South African Communist Party, expressed to condemn the state of affairs, expressed to call upon those that have been voted by us to do just to the inhabitants of the city. And that just has to be called loud, mostly to those that were voted in numbers. Whilst you do the same with those that benefited on the balance of votes, whose consequence cannot be directly traced, whereas those that were voted in numbers, the seats that they have derived as allocated by IEC confirms that they have consequence. Khange bafumane ntshela, the arithmetic of allocating seats on proportion, xa iphela ithi aba bancinci masibaphakele ke kule nto ishiyekileyo. So what the party have done in the recent days, that of expressing itself, has lived up to the beliefs, to the attributes of Comrade Chris, that of being uncompromising for the benefit of the poor, the weak and the working class. The character of this metro is dominated by the working class and the poor. So surely, the consequence of the anarchy stands to frustrate kakhulu those that you find mobilized under the vanguard leadership of the working class. So that call is justified, that concern is justified, as is justified as called by us in the leadership of Sangoko and broadly the civil society. That's the message, or that's the verse that we want to put across as part of commemorating and celebrating the life well lived Yaka Comrade Chris, cut short by the enemy of the revolution. Unpopular decision in Provincial Chair have to be taken going forward, surely in the interest of a permanent and a sustainable resolution in the city. And those unpopular decisions have to be led by the mostly voted organization which you lead, so that you derive from those decisions a permanent and a sustainable resolution. It can't be that we shall forever take joy on these unsustainable gas out. It can't be. It's an indictment to the very voters that have given a thumbs up. So our call really, in the spirit of Comrade Chris, is for the leadership to show steadfastness and uncompromising leadership. As I conclude, let me make this point that it is not by default that leadership of civil society is rising. By the way, those who have been around will know that we've been around since 2014 We know what happened in 2016 when Danny was installed as a mayor or as an executive mayor. The rest is history. Khange ibe imana loo nto, it came about through the efforts of civil society and the broader community of the city. All I can say going forward is to challenge all the components of society to say, maybe it's time that we become a permanent feature, not only when problems of installing council is done, but to go even beyond installing people, and you call them mayors, you call them MMCs and stuff like that. All that is needed is for us to ensure that we introduce checks and balances that will ensure that they are constantly monitored going forward. Watch the space, you will see that happening. I've already requested from the chair to consult somewhere within the building as part of ensuring that that stability is installed in our city once and for all. The implications are dire if the legislative processes, including budgets, are not passed. We will all suffer as the 1.2 million inhabitants of the city. That's how serious the problem is. Amandla!
Thank you, Monga. Ndikuyeke nje because unemibutho emininzi oyithethelayo. But I would ask all others not to copy that bad example. I would not give them more than 5 minutes. If you are exceeding that 5 minutes, uzanibona nimecaleni kwakho. Let's acknowledge all veterans who are amongst us. I've seen Comrade Siva there. I can see Mali. They are still what I used to see them. I thought they are now Bamba Ngentong basazihambela. And I see many veterans amongst ourselves. We acknowledge all comrades. Without wasting time, let's ask, because ubasibani ixesha elininzi, i-lecture izaba mfutshane, kanti the purpose of this gathering is a lecture by the chairperson of the ANC in the province. So let's call EYCL, Comrade Wele.
I see I see abanye abantu abayifuni abayithandi abayifuhiyo I see aswafuna amabhutshwa aswafuna amakapitale I see thina sifuna le socialism here I see aswafuna amabhutshwa aswafuna amakapitale I see thina sifuna le socialism here I see ayo chuchu mama chu mama chu kancane sekusele kancane sizophumelela kancane kusele kancane sizophumelela amandla jikijela ofasimba jikijela ofasimba jikijela. Thank you very much, Chair. Comrade Ndola. Greetings to the provincial convener of the ANC and the Premier.
We also send our greetings to the chairperson and the secretary of the region of the ANC. And COSATU, if they are present, SANCO. Also, we extend our greetings to our mother body, South African Communist Party, that is led by Comrade Tulunga Nombexeza as the district secretary. Ours is very short here, comrade, is to deliver the message of support on behalf of the YCL. Comrade Chair, I want to quote Karl Marx. Comrade Karl Marx in 1857 once said, the society is not consist of the individuals, but the express of some interrelated, the related within which the individual stand, close quote. I'm raising this quote, Ilendo isandothethwa nguComrade uPeter weSangoko, kule mess maComrade yenzekayo around the metro. However, we want to send our message to the party by saying that we wish them well in commemorating of Ukrisani. As the YCL, we still have our relevant question that ngubani owabulala uKrisani. We still have to want to uyaluswalus echaza inyani before afumane parole or akazoyifumane parole. We want to say that, Chairperson Ngos.
I hope all the other speakers will then copy the good example of the young people. Without wasting time, let's invite Comrade Tony Tuba, the Secretary of SANCO in the province. Comrade Tuba. I know when you are more progressive than YCL.
Manta. 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 Away two. Away two. Away two. Manta. Manta. Thank you very much. Program Director, Uslalo Wembwingwenda District, Comrade Ndola, the Provincial Chairperson of the ANC, or convener of the PTT in the Eastern Cape, both the chairperson and the secretary of the region of the ANC, and also Comrade Women's League, and also Veterans League that are here. Allow me to greet you, Comrade, ngale njikalanga namhlanje. Comrade, we are holding the lecture ngexesha elinzima. We are holding the lecture ngexesha elinzima, and umuntu ozakwenza lecture apha mnye. Provincial Chairperson we-ANC okanye uconvener we-PTT we-ANC in the Eastern Cape. But as SANCO, Comrade, we want to leave this message, Comrade Ndola. The message that was delivered by Comrade Ukrisani on the national television when everybody seemed
to see uba ikamva loMzantsi Afrika limfiliba ngo-1993 before ahambe. Comrade Chris Hani uphikisana no Comrade uSabelo Phama, andiyazi noba Comrade will remember uSabelo Phama inkomanda ye APLA. Utu Comrade uSabelo Phama, this is going to be a year of a great storm. Utu Comrade Chris, I don't understand what is he talking about when he says this is going to be the year of the great storm. And after that, Comrade, as ixesha lihamba, we lost Comrade Chris Hani. Communist Party today, elikabani likhumbulayo, Comrade, i-Communist Party yabinza ngalo. Because emveni kokuba uComrade Chris Hani, I want you, Comrade Chair, to remember this when you talk to this audience. Emveni kokuba uComrade Chris Hani igazi lakhe laphalala, there was a call by President Mandela, by all progressive forces for a calamity. And this is a calamity, Comrade, that is Sanko who are calling for. A calamity, ebuzo mbuzo, kumaqabane ntola, alliance, ndoba aniyiboni na ingxaki esijongene nayo njengoba nixhwithana nedwa. Uxanduva phambi kwethu lunzima, ijokhwe inzima ibiyenyuka. Into kufuneka sijongene nayo singabantu nenkokheli zokuhlala nenkokheli ze-alliance kukukhulula abantu kwinkululeko abengekayiboni since 1994. Siyacela iComrade egameni likaChris Hani, Comrade Chair, intoba sijongane nale ntaba iphambi kwethu. Intaba leyo yokukhulula abantu baseMzantsi Afrika, intaba yokukhulula abantu bakwaLanga, intaba yokukhulula abantu baseSharpeville, intaba yokukhulula abantwana today abalala bengatyanga. Enkosi sihlalo.
Part of the quotations Chris Hani looking on these challenges was that part of what we have to do is to suppress our egos. And I think that's one important question when we're going to build a nation, is to put the nation first and suppress all our individual interests. But without wasting time, let's call uqala abalibandla labasebenzi Khosathu. Uba ndiyibizile yangaphakami ndiyagqitha. Kodwa kusihlalo wayebeyithethile into yokokuba abanye baba abaninzi bangangabikho kuba basezindleleni. I think silence means that they have not yet arrived. Masigqithe ke siye uComrade uLobishe. uComrade uLobishe uzawusintroducela the main person for this lecture. At the same time, she'll also talk for all other leagues of the African National Congress. Long live the undying spirit of Comrade Chris, long live. Long live the comrade, long live the undying spirit of Oliver Tambo, long live. Long live the undying spirit of Nelson Mandela, long live. Long live the undying spirit of Ngwenda, long live. Amandla. Long live the undying spirit of Omkov, long live. Amandla.
Imakancinci nanku umuntu efuna uhlabelela ubuya.
Amandla! Amandla! Viva Alliance, viva! Viva Alliance, viva! Ukuba ndiphose ezantsi nizayinyusa. Ukuba ndiphose phezulu nizayithoba. Sekudala sinikela ngamandla. Sekudala. 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 Gazle. Oh, amandlethu mawasikhokhele. Igazlethu. Amandlethu. igazi lethu sekudala
sekudala ewe sekudala sekudala oh amandla ethu mawasikhokhele igazi lethu malisikhulule oh amandla ethu mawasikhokhele igazi lethu malisikhulu oh sekudala hayi bo oh sekudala
Amandla. Solana. Solana.
wena masebe swaqhibile emaweni yomabuyane emaweni 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 masebe swaqhibile eweni yomabuyane emaweni masebe swaqhibile emaweni yomabuyane emaweni regions isqhibile emaweni yomabuyane emaweni regions isqhibile emaweni yomabuyane emaweni regions isqhibile amandla
Amandla. Amandla, amandla. Amandla.
amandla 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 amandla
Amandla. Kawethu. Viva SACP, viva. Viva SACP, viva. Long live the spirit of Christ and long live. Long live the spirit of Christ and long live. Comrades, eyamincinci. Comrade Steba, Suzongola apha no Comrade Mani Puman. Comrades, it is to introduce uchairperson we province. Ngokwe protocol yombutho xa kukhona a provincial leader kunikezelwa kuyo. Kodwa eziba ndinikezela kuye ukuba makazothetha uComrade uMabuyane. I am not going to get into his political credentials, but I'm going to say to him, we are here as Nelson Mandela region with our alliance partners celebrating the spirit of Chris Hani. We are being faced with a plethora of challenges, but ones that are not beyond our level to overcome, if the alliance can be able to hold hands and move forward. And as well, as we are meeting today, we wish that the alliance lena ingakwazi ukusinika iSACP umkhombandlela wokuba kulento yokuba sihleli simokamokana ne-remnants ze-capitalist system eziyi-unemployment, inequality, and poverty. How do we move forward as the organization, having an organization that is a multi-class organization? If city, as the remnants are now overwhelming us as the movement, silindele into oba i-vanguard lena mayikwazi ukusibonisa into oba how do we move slowly to socialism. And as well, noting that parties, they are emerging small parties every now and again, and the power is being shared by iparty esingazaziyo. I-contest ye-local government by i-communist party, is it not something that we ought to consider as the alliance? So, mandimnike uchair, ndiyabona uba sefuna ukundisusa.
Amandla! Viva ANC! Viva! Viva SACP! 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 Viva! Viva ANC! Viva! Viva COSATU! Viva! Viva SANCO! Viva! Watintu mama! Row, young lions, row! Phambili ngamagqala ethu, phambili! Amayanga, ayaroga, older. Long live the spirit of Comrade Christiani. Long live. Long live the spirit of Comrade Christiani. Long live. Comrades, thank you. Thank you very much, Comrade Program Director, Bele, Comrade Ndola, the chair of this district of the Communist Party, Mbuyisela Ngwenda. Greetings to the collective leadership of this district as led by the district secretary, Comrade Unombe Gleza. Ingati. Ingati la ngxaki yakhe nonqakulo bazayilungisa. The leadership here alliance ekhoyo apha from the province. I've seen the provincial secretary where Sanko, Comrade Tony Duba, Comrade TG, ukhona umuntu ondihlebelayo apha etafuleni othetha ngento yecampaign andazi bekucampaignelwa ntoni kodwa uthi le campaign ihlangulwe nguye lo apha. So awukandibrief ke nobhala mhlawumbe kwi-alliance secretariat uzayichaza le campaign benikuyo uba yintoni le beniyicampaignela. Also the alliance leadership upper Nelson Mandela. It's good to see the alliance under one roof. We need alliance here in Nelson Mandela more than anything else. Our deployed cadres, I've seen the executive mayor, deployee of the ANC, and I've seen earlier the chief whip and other comrades, and those who are also deployed in other spheres of government. Amalungu, a Communist Party, alapha namhlanje, namalungu, the African National Congress, nawe Sanko, nawe Youth League, nawe YCL, phambili nge-PYA phambili. Abantu abalapha namhlanje kwesi sikolo sizosenza ngotata uChristiani, comrades and friends, good evening. The comrades are aware that I don't always feel good about this introduction thing. I'm not sure whether it's still relevant in a revolution, but I know it's important so that people are known. Mnandi ngu Oscar Mabuyane. Ngoku ndizawuphakama apha unobhala we-region ye-ANC uComrade Nqakula uthi ufuna undihlabelela ingoma. Hayi bendifuna ukumnika kodwa ndaqonda uba hey kahle uSathane uze ngeenyawo. Kodwa ndiyayithanda le ngoma ebezandihlabelela yona. Ye Malia, ye Malia. Benobhala. Nyathela. Chaos. Comrades, sihlangene apha maqabane namhlanje ngalenje kalanga. Sizokukhumbuzana ngoqabane wethu esimthanda kakhulu. Comrade Christiani, Uchonyane, as he was affectionately known by his friends, comrades, combatants, and also fellow communists. It is indeed, comrades, an honor to be invited by the leadership collective of Provincial Ngwenda district. The district that is named after Comrade Umbuyi Ngwenda, who died at a tender age of just 35 years, 25 years ago, on the 10th of March, 1999 to be exact. Let me congratulate you, Leadership Collective, for being elected as leadership of the party in this district, and we wish you all the best in your term of office. Niqala kakuhle ngalento yomemi ANC uba izothetha nani kuba ingxaki zalapha eNelson Mandela ziba ninzi in the Alliance family. So it's important that also the ANC learn from an initiative of this nature from you, Communist Party. Kakade, the Communist Party, as it was formed in 1921, just few years after the ANC was formed in 1912. And yayenzelwe okokuba ibe ngumlumiso, ibe ligwele lokudidiyela izinto ezivakalayo in the African National Congress. Yiyo lento Gov and other comrades who have written a lot about this alliance would say the African National Congress without Communist Party ifana nje nqwa nenhlama yesonka exovwe without yeast. So the role of the Communist Party in the ANC is so profound and it's so significant. Also, let me invite you, comrades here all, to stand up and observe a moment of silence in remembering victims of recent disastrous floods in KZN that claimed so many lives, as well as here in the certain parts of Owar Tambo, here in our province. Also on our way here, we had to visit a family, Kakombe Tugege, your leader, a member of the ANC in this region, who also just passed away recently. Also to all other people that we have lost, whether due to COVID-19. Let's just give a moment of silence to all of those. Yanga imimoya yabo ingaphumla ngoxolo. Comrade Mbuyi was a tried and tested leader of the working class. This comrade, whose this district is named after, and he was a former secretary or general secretary of the National Union of Metal Workers of South Africa, INUMSA, our NUMSA, and an organic intellectual who was shaped by the Congress movement. Yabona ke nakwinumsa nethi udecide ukumka kwi-ANC kodwa ufuna uba kwinumsa uhamba ube neengxakanyana zakho nje ezikubhadulisayo ezingacacanga, because inumsa nangona iyi-union yabasebenzi phaa kwi-metal industry kodwa yona iphefumlelwe apha kule Congress movement. Ndithetha ngabomke loo nto kuba ndilapha kanye kwisilili senumsa enkabeni yayo apha eKariyerha. I'm truly inspired by today's event, comrades, precisely because it presents us with an opportunity to reflect on these two doyens of our revolution who have striking similarities in as far as their revolutionary conducts are concerned. Xa ujonga uComrade Chris, uyakwazi ukumbona uComrade Umbuyi Ngwenda xa ujonga uComrade Mbuyingwenda uyakwazi ukumbona uComrade Chris, because uComrade Chris has been our role model, has been our leader. Actually, many of leaders and revolutionaries or aspirant revolutionaries would always strive to emulate Comrade Chris. The leadership collective of the Mbuyiselo district of the South African Communist Party appropriately convened this Chris Hani Memorial Lecture under the theme, "We strive to be like Chris Hani under the democratic dispensation," close quote. The invitation, as was extended to me by Comrade District Secretary. The District Secretary had stated that this leadership collective seeks to assert the hegemony of the alliance over the Nelson Mandela Metro. I think the issues that the Sangogo was talking to here and a number of other comrades that are feeling the pain of what is currently unfolding here in our metro. What I like about the party says, the party wants to assert the hegemony of the alliance in this metro. That tells you, as long as we still struggle with the cohesion of alliance in this metro, we will forever be below 50% and we will forever be in this chaos of coalition government that we see. Ndiyayazi ba kuthiwa kutshiwo uba ingayovusa ingxoxo eshushu phaa kulaa mgalelo uba uthe uchairperson siyi-chaos. Unqaku lukhona kuzayilungisa phaa ayipolishe kakuhle. The assumption, therefore, is that if we all emulate the leadership style and the conduct of the late Comrade Chris Hani and Comrade Mbuyingwenda, we shall achieve this noble objective of inserting and asserting hegemony over the people of the Nelson Mandela Metro. Nje, base azalwa ngokutsha, xa ethe wabonakala uMbuyingwenda, xa ethe wabonakala uChris Hani, thifane naye, asuzokulinge sibe nazo ezingxaki sinazo. Ingxaki nje isesithi ngoku, siyabhadula, sifuna isitya emnyameni. Comrades, for us to be like Comrade Chris Hani under the democratic dispensation, there are things that we must do differently. It can't be business as usual if we want to be like Comrade Chris Hani. Members of the party have a responsibility to defend and guard jealously the democratic dispensation as it is under constant and sustained attacks from within and outside our MDM ranks. Nelson Mandela, because a sustained attack to the alliance, within the alliance, by alliance members against each other, led us to be where we are today in Nelson Mandela. I'm particularly happy to be here again because I used to come to ANC as a secretary. Uthi ngoku Florence Matomela uqoqa izinto iparty iyamatsha apha phandle iyadukisa pha amasela ngaphakathi ANC office, and the public has been listening to that and following to this a very unfortunate situation. So the relationship of this alliance, comrades, has really been weakened over a period of time. In achieving, comrades, that insertion of hegemony, we must first be willing to win the war of maneuver and war of possession that is being waged constantly and consistently at a societal level. We claim to be the leader of the society. Comrade Nobhala, le micimbi othi mandithethe ngayo ifuna sibe ngathi siyancotsha kancinci sikrobe nje kwi-Marxism. Ucomrade Nqakula uthi lapha yena uzokhangela i-socialism uba indawoni isekhona na kwipati andiyazi uba ke nidibana phi ke comrade Ntola naye, kodwa ndiyayazi ke xa sekudityenwe eFinez naseCubana akho kwa-social yi-chaos pha. So andiyazi ke kutheni nikrokrela njengoba kahle i-socialism ayisekho nje apha. Kodwa ke siza kungena nje kancinci kule ndaba ye-hegemony and the necessary precondition for its implementation. Program Director, the chair of the district, and your leadership collective, most certainly you understand that the Italian Marxist, Antonio Gramsci, used the term war of possession and war of maneuver to indicate two distinct phases in the class struggle, and thus the appropriate strategies for revolutionaries to take. According to him, the war of maneuver is the phase of open conflict between classes, where the outcome is decided by direct classes or clashes between revolutionaries and opposing class forces. The war of position, on the other hand, is the slow, hidden conflict, where a social forces or classes seek to gain influence and power over society. The war of position is about the struggle to gain decisive influence in society. We are here to talk about comrade Christian. This is what Christian understood perfectly. That's why Christian became what he was. The war of maneuver is the struggle of force and is about the strategic and tactical maneuvers that are necessary in advancing the struggle for fundamental social transformation so that the National Democratic Revolution, the NDR, stays on course. So if that war of maneuver is not there, comrades, and we don't grasp it, we will struggle to apply our strategy and tactic for us to be able to advance the National Democratic Revolution. And surely, we will follow what another leader once said, that the NDR is on detour. Comrades, my submission is that the South African Communist Party, for South African Communist Party to insert hegemony over society, it must first win the war of maneuver and war of position. This is necessary precondition, comrades. In fighting the war of possession, the party must think creatively about where it should concentrate to gain influence. This will, of course, mean that the party must conduct a thoroughgoing analysis of both the subjective and objective factors that will aid it in the pursuance of its overall strategic objectives. Ngoku sine-debate ye-reconfiguration of alliance. In the current politics of coalitions, and andisazi isizathu esibangela uba i-Communist Party ingaye kwi-contest i-state power, so that we can form an alliance with a dependable ally than to look around for people whom we don't know, who will sleep and wake up tomorrow, form their own parties for expedience. Kudala ke imani beka ibheki ngasemnyango ne-YCL ifika imani ikhabala bheki siyahamba simane sincenga kanihlaleni phansi. So in a way of trying to propel us and say, let's think differently. Umbuzo into yoba if uChristian ebesaphila ngesithini uChristian kule discussion. Singahlala apha sicinga i-Communist Party, i-Communist Party will never contest ANC, will contest state power and form coalition with ANC and stabilize our municipalities. Uyabona ngosesengxakini. Veterans here with Sangoko approached the ANC province to say, in Nelson Mandela, there are two biggest parties, ANC and DA. If the ANC in 1994 formed a government of national unity, working with its worst enemy in the form of National Party, the architects of the apartheid system, what would make us not to think outside the box now? Because the constituents of DA doesn't want instability here. The constituents of the ANC doesn't want instability here. But the more we are in this perpetual mode of chaos, of smaller parties and coalition, the more ANC suffers, because people are looking up to the ANC to provide solution to their daily challenges of unemployment, underdevelopment, and inequalities. And we only realize that's why it's easy for people to go outside, form an organization, go and contest, get a seat. And ANC continues to suffer. We must begin to be revolutionaries and think like revolutionaries, think outside the box, find solutions to serious political challenges that we are facing in our modern day. So that debate yongathi hayi i-Communist Party izabe contested sinengxaki ngoku contestwa i-independent ewadini iwine yawugqiba i-independent ingazi noma mayithini kuba i-ANC but ibihlukunyezwe yi-ANC process and apha is because i-ANC ithi yona ngoku sifuna uya kwi-public whoever is popular izinto esikuzo ngoku thatha noba ngubani opopular kwi-public uyombeka ekhansileni ame phezu kwentaba phaa ngomsa tuzuva ngani nandi yafocus. So that's what Chris Hani probably will be putting us on our toes around these kind of difficult questions that we are navigating. Let us, comrades, now turn back to the theme of the lecture. Ithi veteran, before ningene up, if veterans are up, ANC go and engage with DA. DA has approached us. DA, no, we can work with ANC. Give ANC to run municipality completely. ANC give us the oversight, Section 79, so that we oversight you. What's wrong with us governing and being oversighted by them? If that's, but are they trustworthy? Are they reliable in that? So this is a debate that if we sit down and talk to them and engage them as they are willing to engage, we surely be able to get to something. And I can tell you, the sustainability of this area, all developmental programs of national government, provincial government that are at risk now because of a council that cannot sit and approve a budget, a council that cannot attend to issues of the people or to issues of its citizens. So we have a problem. We have a problem. Where are we with national democratic revolution? When abasebenzi besamo bazawuza kum bazothi premier sikwa hell. We are living in hell. The way we are treated. You sleep and wake up tomorrow, you are suspended. You can't complain. You don't know there's everyone in charge. There's a laissez-faire, there is a paralysis. Please come on board, protect us as workers, because we will be greater sufferers if this thing is allowed to go on like this. We have seen it in a number of municipalities. Let us now come and stand back to the theme of the lecture by answering the question, what is it that the Communist Party members across the board must do to emulate Comrade Chris Hani leadership style and conduct? Not only members of the Communist Party, us in the alliance, funeka senze ntoni ukuze sifane naye. This is the essence of the theme for today's lecture. We should start by asking the question, who was Chris Hani and whose class interest did he represent during his lifetime? What Comrade Chris would say today about us as a leadership of the ANC in Nelson Mandela, a home of the African National Congress. If you don't know that, go and ask Omben what this region has been in the ANC. When you talk about liberation of the ANC in this country, what this region of Nelson Mandela has been in the ANC. In responding to this question, comrades, I would like not to bore you with Comrade Chris Hani's biography, which you know very well. Niyamazi bo Chris Hani wayezalelwe eCofimvaba nge-28th kaJune ngo-1942, wachata nomama uDimpho, wanabantwana abathathu uNomakhwezi, uNewo, njalo njalo. Niyayazi loo nto. Afunanga nizoyifundiswa, ikhona noba ungavula ifoni yakho ngathi gqingayo ubhale nje Chris Hani. Xa sithetha ngelecture ngoChris Hani asinozobaliselana ngaloo nto mos. But mamela uChris Hani ephendula uke wayicaphula apha usihlalo uprogram director in passing, answering this question himself, uComrade Chris, and uthi, and I quote, "What we need in South Africa is for egos to be suppressed in favor of peace. We need to create a new breed of South Africans who love their country and love everybody irrespective of their color." Talk about patriotism here. Is Comrade Chris responding to this question? Before we came to this lecture, long before, talking to us about the importance of patriots. Wahlulele phakathi kwe-patriotism ne-patronage. Sesinemikhova yamalungu agcwele amafufunyane nje, yinto okokuba abantu ngamalungu amanye amalungu. Umvethetha nje uba hayi akuthethi yena, kubhodla into engaphakathi, and akayazi bozawuphinda athini, kwayena ufuna uncedo akhululwe. Ilishwa ke ngoxa sewumbeke wayinkokheli uzamnceda njani, because iinkokheli aziyazi uba zawulungiswa ngamalungu, but i-constitution yona ithini ANC iinkokheli zi-accountable kwi-membership ye-ANC, ayo membership e-accountable kwe-ANC. Ibhlungu ke makomrade ukubeka abantu ngaphambili abanjalo, kuba those people can sell i-revolution, sell i-ANC to the highest bidder. So uChris Hani iphendula ngokwakhe ke le nto ayindimi nguChris. I want to talk about Comrade Chris Hani, comrades, a disciplinarian, and demonstrate to all of you how you would have navigated the current uncharted or turbulent waters that we are facing as a movement. Comrade Chris Hani was a loyal, disciplined member of the African National Congress, a member of the South African Communist Party, and the Chief of Staff of Mkondo Wesizwe, the armed wing of our movement. He was not afraid to raise issues with leaders of the ANC without being divisive and factional. Ingxaki kukuthi xa ufuna uraise into ukhethe ukufomisha enye into ecaleni kuba ungakwazi uthe leaden nkokheli kulena indawo nakule indawo ingathi asiboni ngasonye kuhlalwe phansi endaweni buchithi ye-ANC. Yabona ke sithi sixakene nobomi Nelson Mandela. sibe sinoqhusaka nawo ndiyamncoma apha uComrade Baba lo noComrade Nqo ndithi abantu nihleli kakuhle imembership iya-enjoy unibona nihleli ngolu hlobo. Mna zange ndayibona i-leadership eqhekeke enkomfeni igqitywe kwenyulwa qhekeke enkomfeni because kufuneka kwenziwe into eforeign engazanga yenziwa kwe-ANC. Into engazanga yabakho engadalwanga uthi ngoso ukuhletyelwa unqandwa nazo ii-veterans ayenziwa le nto kwe-ANC uthi ibhalwe phi loo nto sizawuyenza. So ebezawuthini ke ngoku Christian? Apha sizamazamana ne-region esifuna ukuyiwina back. Mind you, comrades, the ANC in this region was completely destroyed and eroded during the time of COPE. Yadestroywa i-ANC completely. Yaqalwa phansi i-ANC ukufonyishwa kwenziwa i-task team kwemka ne-membership yayolahlwa. Yaqalwa phansi yafonyishwa. That's the reason, comrades, if you don't know, got 2009 national elections, we were less than 50% here in Nelson Mandela. We were at 49%. Comrade Giraffe says, leading the region moving forward, since our 81%, I'm John Gemehlweni. 2011, we had a narrow escape, 51%. What did we do about that 51%? A narrow escape. And at that point, you had this intensified war of alliance, attack of allies against allies, when we needed to go to people and really prevail on our people. Abantu basebhayi abavotele enye into abantu baseGqeberha bahleli phansi qha basonge izandla kuba abanalo elinye ithemba ngaphandle kwe-ANC. So xa uzawuya enkomfeni wonyula abantu abazawuqhekeka ngoku bafuneka kwenziwe into ezingekhoyo kwe-ANC. What kind of leadership is that? Very bad. Comrade Christiani was not afraid to raise issues with leaders of the ANC. That's the reason why structures of the ANC, lower structures, are represented in the upper structures. Kulungiselelwa into yoba ubheke emithingi ume uthethe le nto so that ungahambe udungadunga i-ANC. Ungabe sisidungamzi kwe-ANC. This leadership, comrades, Amandla, this leadership attribute, comrades, was noticeable when Comrade Chris presented what is popularly known as the Christiani Memorandum, although it was signed by other MK combatants at the first National Consultative Conference that was held in Morogoro in Tanzania on the 26th of April 1969. In the memorandum, he said that, one, the ANC leadership in exile has created a machinery which has become an end. It is completely divorced from the situation in South Africa. Are we in touch with really issues of people of Nelson Mandela? People who are dying of hunger, people who are dying of criminal activities every day. People are being killed, people are being shot at. Even amongst ourselves, we create an environment of fighting in our own meetings to a point of trying to kill each other. What kind of an organization is that? Secondly, Comrade Chris, on behalf of these comrades, says, we are disturbed by the careerism of the ANC leadership abroad, who have in every sense become professional politicians rather than professional revolutionaries. Ufika kwethu kwe-ANC sasicelo kethi into yoba uba lapha emzabalazweni ayiyo career. Suzojoyina i-ANC kuba ufuna uba yi-ward committee. Suzojoyina i-ANC kuba ufuna uba nguceba. Suzojoyina i-ANC kuba ufuna uba yi-REC. Joyina i-ANC njengevolontiye. Ungajonganga nzuzo. Yiya esikolweni. Kubantu abakhoyo ngoku abatsha, akakho umuntu omtsha onoze kube kanti akayanga esikolweni from 1994 uzodi kangoku. Can you really trust and rely on that revolutionary? So this careerism and professional politics is a problem. Those palace politics, funeka sihoste, beyinkokele hostayo, kuchayisa igazi, kube mnandi, kuhlalwe kwi-night clubs, yaziwe laa tafile, hayi, yeyeenkokheli ze-ANC laa tafile. Uthi uComrade Zamani Soul, of which I really agree with. Uthi uboyazi, xa ufika kuchawa ezo sigazi, kuhlelo kweza tafile kweza ndawo, yimali karhulumente ebiweyo leyo. Ebezawuthini uChristian? uChristian wayezabalazela into yoba masiyohlala eCubana sibe zii-kings, sibe zii-king makers. Andithi makungonatywa, kodwa xa usonwaba ulilungu le-ANC, yiba nentloni. Yiba nentloni. Cinga ngoChristian, cinga ngoSolomon Mahlangu, cinga ngoHector Peterson. Yiba nentloni. Awunoba yililungu le-ANC, ube inkokheli ye-ANC uphinde ufuna ukwaziwa njengengakara, azidibani. Ayazidibani kaloku. Comrades, this memorandum that was presented by Comrade Chris Emorogoro was an uncompromising critique of the ANC leadership collective in exile. Yabona ke enye into esiyifumana phaa kumrhabulo we-ANC, ANC ikunceda ngento yoba ube nobulali, ube nembeko, uthobeke, ube nokuzeka kade umsindo. Ngathi kungakwazi ukuthiwa hayi kuwe, unengxaki ke ngoku. Ngathi abantu bangakwazi ukuthi hayi kuwe, funeka uzazi uba ukude kunofefe lwe-African National Congress. However, comrades, Amanda, the criticism, comrades, was raised in a very disciplined and constructive way and forced the ANC leadership to conduct an introspection. Yazi omnye comrade wenye province undibalisela ngomgidi ebeze kuwo apha e-Eastern Cape. Uthi ke kulo mgidi xa kuncokolwa kumandi apha abantu bebalisa into okokuba we're taking over, we're in charge. We're going to lead the province. But into emkwankqisayo kule ncoko yinto ethi aba bantu batshoyo bazawukhokela abaphathi, sizawuke siyotya i-whole day eNew York, siyotya i-whole day eFrance. So uyothuka ke ngoku yena uba, but what kind of a leadership creed is this? You see, this comment tells me I was not in that. Uyandibalisela uba waqala pha wayiqonda uba ikhona kodwa ingxaki. Ndingaba ndikule ndawo ndikuyo naba bantu kulo mgidi, kodwa le ndlela yoba abantu bazicharacterize ngolu hlobo ikhona ingxaki ngale nto. Andibazi ba ingobani ababekuloo mgidi. Umuntu owayesemgidini no uyazi. It enabled the ANC comrades to relook at its political and military strategy. La memorandum ibirhwexa irhabaxa. Kodwa yenyanzelisa ye-ANC ba bayizibhenxe. Christiani and his fellow combatants faced consequences for writing this memorandum. It was obviously expected. Akho lulu phikisa leadership. You see? Engakumbi leadership engayazi bapha ku-ANC kuyaphikiswana. He was expelled from the ANC NEC, but was later reinstated after President Owari Tambo intervened. Some in the MK wanted him to face the military squad. Despite facing this harsh treatment from the ANC, Comrade Christiani remained loyal and subjected himself to the discipline of the ANC. Yabona comrades, xa unozuthi on a Thursday preceding the Easter weekend, uthi makuzokwenziwa i-lecture yindoda enenkosikazi nabantwana ebefamba ithi ndiyahamba nonkosikazi nabantwana thithi ulandela mayibe sesithubeni ngelaa xesha. But i-revolution ithi masibe lapha because sisengxakini yokukhumbuzana ngemvelaphi yethu. Mhlawumbi wabe uthethe ngomnye umuntu ngendingakhange ndeza apha ukuthi mazokwenza i-lecture njengomnye umuntu. So ndisindwe yile nto ithi Comrade Chris. Nango ndiza apha ndiyabona itheni imoto zingaka kodwa hayi kaloku abantu babhekeza iholideyini. Nina abangena holiday. So abantu babhekeza iholideyini nje imoto zininzi zendleleni yiloo nto. But uComrade Chris zangazabalazela into kokuba ngexesha lenhlungu nenhlupheko masihlale eziholideyini masiphumle kodwa ulala njani uphumla njani abantu besenhlungwini yenhlupheko. Comrade Christiani remained loyal and subjected himself to the discipline of the zangaphuma ndenzawubabonisa ndingubani mna ndinguChristian ndiyaziwa ndisuke ewanki ndisuke ulwa zangabayolwa aba bantu zangatsho. Inzima ke lento Comrade Nqakula ufuna uboniswa ngabantu abangazange babone into. Umuntu angazange abone kwanto afuna ukubona because angabone nix. Afuna uprove point. He did not go out and attack the ANC or wash and hang its dirty linen in foreign rivers, as the members of the Group of 8 did after they were expelled by the ANC. Group of 8 ke ndithetha ngento enike nive eniyaziyo tuzothetha ngayo ndizothetha ngoChris. Neither was he cowered into submission or silence by this harsh treatment. He became a voice of the voiceless within the ANC and MK. Hence, every word he uttered, every statement he made resonate very well with the masses of our people inside and outside Republic of South Africa. That was Comrade Chris, your leader, our leader. Even during the negotiations process, he did not agree with some of the tactical shifts that were made at the negotiating table, including the suspension of the armed struggle. But he chose to support the decision of the collective. He was also able to articulate and convey these unpopular decisions to the masses of our people. This is the kind of discipline that both members of the SACP and ANC should seek to emulate at all material times. Comrade Christiani was also a professional revolutionary, an intellectual of a working class and peasant origin. As an individual, he understood that his education was for the liberation of the South African people. Awufundela ukukhulula ilizwe angayofundela nice time, ayofundela ukukhulula ilizwe. Ngoku sifuna abantu abayofundela ukuba sibe nempendulo kwingxaki ye-unemployment, indlala, intlupheko yabantu, siwadala njani amathuba omsebenzi. That's what Chris Hani would enjoy if he can wake up. As an individual, he understood that his education, as I've said, was for the liberation of South Africa. He was a Shakespearean scholar and a student of Latin and English literature who used his knowledge to the benefit of the South African Revolution. That's why we had 1994. Actually, he became a catalyst. His assassination almost propelled us to that fast-tracked 1994. Comrades, I would really like to see all members of the party following on the footsteps of Comrade Christian. Members of the party and members of the ANC should not be afraid to disagree with the ANC leadership. ANC yonakele nje comrades yaphela yile nto uhlonipha leadership noba seyisenza into engeyiyo sihloniphe. Correct leadership of the ANC. Engage it. And the members of the ANC should not be afraid to criticize constructively in a way that will enable us to observe the blind spot. But if you have got a reliable comrades who understand the term comrade, are able to pull you to say, look at this blind spot. Because the revolution is at risk. It is true that culture of robust debate and constructive criticism that we get the ANC back on track and return it to its glory. Make it once again that glorious movement that the masses of our people knew. Nango, when we talk of renewal, I feel the renewal. ANC in all these revolutionary phases has experienced these challenges. It has gone through this. Nango kusiklo moment, kufike iliqa, loba ANC izalwe ngokutsha futhi ikwazi uku-adapta to the material conditions esiphila kuzo. Zange ANC yangumbutho kavula zibhuqe umuntu azenzele. That's why everything in the ANC is documented. ANC put its literature intact, its constitution, so that when you join ANC, you don't follow people uncritical. You familiarize yourself with the literature of the ANC so that you engage. You don't just go, ubani uvotela bani, hayi ndihamba nobani. Oh, ndiziswe ngubani apha, ndizakwenza into enziwa ngubani. You don't owe a person anything in the ANC. You owe everything to the African National Congress. The biggest challenge that we have in the ANC is the lack of discipline, comrades. Izimilo zethu ngoku kwe-ANC zinemihlisela. We have members of the ANC who openly challenge policy decisions and conference resolutions. Abanye bazibize ngoba bayi-RET within the African National Congress. Yintoni ke ngoku le? We would like members of the party to help the ANC inculcate the disciplinarian culture which is increasingly diminishing in the African National Congress. So we are appealing to party because we understand the role the party that is expected to play in the African National Congress. Ingxaki ke ngokuna kukuba singene ediphini enye kungabikho mahluko phakathi kwelungu leparty nelungu le-ANC ubona kuyafanwa nje yi-chaos. To date, comrades, we still have the biggest problem of careerism, something that Comrade Chris Hani bemoaned as far as back as 1969. Umuntu oyika uba andinawukwazi uphika ubani because ndiyikhansila. Ngokungathi ubekwe ngubani uzobe yikhansila. Because ngoku ubukhansila bakho yikhariye, ndizawulala nditye ntoni, uba ndikhutshwe ndizawutya ntoni, ndizawuthini. Baba nexhala. Yabona ke sike se-abuse nalento ye-democratic centralism. I-democratic centralism yayisenzelwe i-leadership ematured eyazi uba ayisoze isebenzise lento to perpetuate factional interest in the organization. Because you are trusted with a serious responsibility of leading the ANC. There are some amongst comrades us who use the ANC as a vehicle to enrich themselves and their immediate family members. They do not care about the plight of ordinary people. We expect members of the party, as they seek to emulate Christiani's leadership style, conduct, and ethos, to help the ANC flush out these individuals within its own ranks. Nasimbone umuntu simkrokele uba lo ulitshaba lomzabalazo wenkululeko. And iparty mayisincede ikwazi through its Marxist Leninist tools of analysis ukusi-identify la such characters. Awukwazi kaloku kwenza uba inkokheli pompous ube yi-kingmaker. Ayenzeki loo nto. Yimani kaloku. Yimani. Ndizokwenza ilecture ngoChristian apha. Le feedback yenu omane ningxolisa comrade baba lo nonqakula andiyazi uba yintoni. Izinto zenu zinityayo sanuzisa kum. In engaging comrades in a strategic and policy position like the state power, as members of the SACP, should ask yourselves this question: how would have Christiani responded to the party contesting state power as a matter of policy shift? I've raised this point earlier on. It is within this context that party members should understand the Antonio Gramsci's theoretical perspective of the war of maneuver, the war of position. Understanding of this perspective will enable the SACP to gauge whether the masses of our people are moving with the party. The broad democratic movement agree or disagree with the notions of state power. Thelba ungaveka kufonyisha umbutho okuthiwa yi-EFF ukhule ube yilanto iyo ufuthi ungazenza iparty at some point iparty comrade Bele ingakwazi. Now you are a mass party. You are a mass party now. Lastly, comrades, you need to work hard in this metro in asserting and inserting your hegemony. What I like, it is not party hegemony, it is alliance hegemony. And alliance is led by the ANC. You are forced to really work with the ANC. As long as parties in the alliance, it must understand that the party or the alliance is led by the ANC. But do we have a leadership of the ANC that is capable to lead the alliance? It is end, comrade, that leadership responsibilities. It is end. I must hasten, comrades, to point out that this is not going to be an easy task. You have to make sure that your statement and policy position in support of the National Democratic Revolution resonate very well with the people and citizens of the Nelson Mandela Metro. Abantu base Nelson Mandela makomrade bayahlupheka. Ilindle libaleka ezindlini zabo ezitratweni. Asikwazi ukuthutha inkukuma umasipala umdyaka kwenziwa imisebenzi emikhulu yokuphucula le ndawo ngu-national government, provincial government, umasipala umile ngxi, andasozukwazi abantu abokhelwa zindlu, iminyaka iyahamba, imali iyajika karhulumente, because kunzima uzokokha izindlu eNelson Mandela, abantu abanazindlu ngelo xesha. That's what should have preoccupied the last regional conference as Nelson Mandela, more than the declaration as awuhambe xaka abantu endleleni. Uba sibanceda njani abantu base Nelson Mandela kwezi ngxaki? Because xa uzonyula enkonfeni wonke umuntu ulindele into yoba zithini resolution. Kuthiwa kuphume i-resolution ne-declaration qha kujikelezwa yonke indawo kuculwa nge-declaration. Ngamagama abantu into engazange yabakho kwi-African National Congress. I'm raising these comrades in this meeting because both comrades are here who are leading this region. They must go back and lead that REC. Bayikhokele ngendlela right that REC ibheke phambili isolve i-problems abantu base Nelson Mandela. By leadership, now you must understand that the leadership you have is the leadership you deserve. And when you learn it, when you find out what you say, Nisabella and upon those gold, and they didn't know, and they didn't know when Sabella and a woman in the van, when you say, when Sabella and a woman, now, Kitagalan confirm. Comrades, I was here during campaigns. In October, ngoku ndiphuma phaya eZwide, ndirhawula yenye comrade pha yakwawadi 20 what. Ithi kum comrade Nqakula, laa ndlu wawuyibonile ayikalungiswa. Fortunately, I was with the executive mayor. Immediately, I linked that comrade. And I remember the case very well. And la comrade ithi xa ixoxa laa nto, ithi hayi, so ixoxa ngolu hlobo, apha ndandibethelwa ukungavani ne-leadership ngoko kusiwe enkomfeni ngo-2017 e-ICC, ndithethe enye into, kwazocandwa umhlaba wam, kokhiwa indlu phezu komhlaba wam, ndiyashiyeka ndingenamhlaba. Umeya ndimnikile laa case. Now we are so couple of months, because those are quick wins that in the 100 days program, we should be able to respond to them because they were coming to us during door-to-door campaign. And I was doing door-to-door here. And Barry Sinsomi, the Ayazba, and Kubaba and the Shiva and I know region in Shepa in the main. Being an exercise, I opened was 6. Send the Amba door to a paying regional leadership. But this regional leadership must lead alliance, must lead the SACP, must lead. That's why Chris understood it very well, that he must be a member of the SACP. Equally, he must be a member of the ANC. Remember, in the ANC, comrades, we don't have Communist Party. We have communists who are members of the ANC. So we have ANC, we have Kikota and Dondon. And is any Communist Party? In the ANC, there are communists. You must understand that. And ANC is in alliance with Communist Party. Because siyavana nge-National Democratic Revolution. ANC xa inawuyeka i-National Democratic Revolution, ayizubakho into ebangela uba i-ANC ibe ne-alliance ne-party. Because ithi i-party, ezi mpawu zale society nithetha ngayo eyi-National Democratic Society, ezawuzalwa yile National Democratic Revolution, xa siyijonga siye sibone into yokuba inazo phantse zonke ezi mpawu ze-socialism. Sawufika pha kwi-National Democratic Society, sekukufutshane uwelela ngaphesheya kwi-socialism. That's why sikunye nani ANC. Asikho kunye nani kuba sithanda nina, sikunye nani ngale revolutionary program. So if the MDR then gets affected, therefore the entire revolution is on the spin. Uyabona mosmahluko wengu. I was here, comrades, during the campaign in October and November last year, and I was hoping that our people would give the ANC a resounding electoral victory at the polls. Unfortunately, that was not the case. Singazibuza ke umbuzo namhlanje ukuba naniphi nina makomanisi xa abantu befulathela ukhongolose. This is a question that you must confront honestly and boldly without fear of reprisal. Unobhala lo district ebe councillor we-ANC ethetha kuthethwa pha. Yabona ke amakomesi aphinda amonyula unoxanduva ngoku. Ndithande laa nto buyithetha apha xa kubhekwa phambili i-revolution isifundisa uba silungise sizilungise apha endleleni silungele umzabalazo wabantu. The Christianity that we all seek to emulate would have confronted that question and most certainly provide the ANC with answers that it needs. As we prepare to go to our 9th ANC Provincial Conference this coming week, comrades, we invite members of the party to contribute meaningfully as members of the ANC in their right in work of ensuring that we emerge from the conference much stronger, more united, and more coherent. We invite you to contribute in the work of cleansing the ANC, your movement, from all the wrong elements that confront it today. Lona idinga libekiwe lizawufika. Idinga libekiwe. Ndiyayithanda besisemeetingini ye-PTT. Wonke umuntu ume ngenyawo, mayifike inkomfa, mayifike inkomfa. Yabona ke, ndike ndazibona inkomfa apha. Kakuhle kakhulu. Pha kwi-Youth League ndake ndonyulwa ngedraw. Ndingu-deputy chairperson we-Youth League, kodwa sinedraw. Sibambene, ndaqomba zathi ayiva le nto. So we have seen these things, comrades, going there. But ayikho into ethi comrades must be an attention. It is in the DNA ANC that, because ANC is a democratic organization, that position must be contested if needs be. Siyayazi i-repercussions ne-aftermath the-contestation. But it's part of strengthening the ANC. Those contradictions sometimes propel the ANC movement forward. Mawungaliwa ke kombe sibe kwi-tension, nibukulane, ningafunani because abanye bathe, kodwa loo nto mayenziwe ngembeko, makube kwimbeko, inhlonipho. Suppress your egos. Suppress your egos. Siyakwazi into ethile. Siyayazi izinto ziyafika zigqithe. Suppress your egos. That Christianity would say. So inkomfa ye-ANC ye-province is a very serious platform. Yabona ke le ngumkhuluwa we-National Conference. Umdla okuyo wenza nomuntu ohlele eGauteng ebesitya abeke icephe phansi xa kuthethwa nge-Eastern Cape ame ngenyawo, because it is Eastern Cape. We invite comrades you to contribute in the work of cleansing the ANC and making it a point that ANC emerges out of that conference very strong and more coherent. Let me conclude, comrades, by reminding all of you of the words of Christiani just 8 days before his assassination in 1993, which are so relevant today as if they were said yesterday, or as if Comrade Chris knew that he was departing, therefore had to leave us with profound vision and foresight that demonstrate he saw the way beyond his time. Comrade Chris had this to say, and I quote, "I think finally the ANC will have to fight a new enemy. That enemy would be another struggle to make freedom and democracy worthwhile to ordinary South Africans. Our biggest enemy would be what we do in the field of socio-economic restructuring, creation of jobs, building of houses, schools, medical facilities, overhauling our education, eliminating illiteracy, building a society which cares, and fighting corruption and moving into the gravy train of using power. Government position to enrich individuals. We must build a different culture in this country, different from Africa, different from the Nationalist Party, and that culture should be one of service to people," close quote. What else do you want from Christian? These words, comrades, were stated by a man that graduated as a bright youngster from one of the most renowned universities in South Africa, who could have easily gone to live a comfortable life and pleasant life anywhere in the world. However, his passion and devotion to his people's cause made him sacrifice the possibility of comfortable life for that of a selfless servant of people's revolution. And this he did because, as he stated, and I quote once again, "What right do I have to hold back, to rest, to preserve my health, to have time with my family, when there are other people who are no longer alive, when they have sacrificed what is precious, namely life itself," close quote. Nyamvu Christian. These are the words, comrades, that must give us sleepless nights as we remember not just Comrade Chris, but all those women and men that sacrifice everything for us to be free today. To truly remember and honor the memory of Comrade Chris Hani would be to emulate this rare kind of selflessness found in these people, in this people's hero and martyr of our revolution. Ngalo mazwi, not umazwi lo wase Kariaha. Ngala mazwi. Kema komanis, akuthi, ndithi sonke, masimkhumbule uChristiani. Kwaye, sihambe ekhondweni lakhe, sikhulele uxanduva. I thank you very much.
Comrades, because of time, what I think we will ensure is to ensure that the speech of Comrade Dia is circulated to all the components of the alliance and is discussed properly, because what he has raised is very important. It needs to be discussed in the movement. It needs to be discussed in the alliance. But summarily, part of what the chairperson is raising, which is sacrosanct and is critical, is the unit of the alliance and the unit of the democratic forces, especially in this area. And I guess that it's very simple for us to vow that other elections coming, ANC should win more than 60%, if not 80%. We can do that because you know why we have lost. It's because of the divisions of the movement within. It's because of people who are looking on benefiting than for the nation. And I guess that is very important, that we have to work patiently with each other. But I indefinitely found that during these complex and complicated times, that's why it's important that we should elect credible leadership. Leadership with trust, so that it's a leadership you can listen. I can assure you that for the fact where we are now, those who have stayed in Port Elizabeth, Lord Mantete bekuthiwa masiqobe nesilungu apha. Bakhona belungu apha abazisilungu. Abantu obelapha eBhayi okanye apha eNelson Mandela bangayazi into ukuba before 1994, for us to be where we are, it was on the basis that besingathethi sonke. They were leaders. But the important question is that they were credible leaders. They were tried and tested. I'm raising this question that they were in the democratic platform, but there's a time of the masses, but there's a time for leadership to speak and lead. Usihlalo raised a Communist Party on the state power. Yes, Communist Party, no revolutionary movement has ambitions of ascending to state as a fundamental tool to transform society. But the question for the Communist Party, before it does that, it must first win the hearts and the minds of the people. That maneuver and war of positions of Gramsci means that the members of the Communist Party and the movement must first clean his kolo, zincedo mama abathatha amayeza clinic, zit ensure that they are doing work, clean his strato, to win the hearts and the minds of the people. A revolutionary is not a normal person. Doesn't sleep. So this is very important, Slalo. What we can vow will do is to take this paper and discuss, and if we have to push other position, we'll actually send to you and continue the discussion. Without wasting time, let me ask Nopala, Wamakomani Skulengingwe.
Amandla, awethu, viva ANC, viva ANC, viva Kosatu, viva Kosatu, viva. Phambili Communist Party, phambili bo.
Comrade Chair, I think I'm not going to be long, but probably I will be doing the both of what I was given to do as the district secretary of the Communist Party, that we've got a responsibility to lead the people, to mobilize the workers and mobilize the people on the ground, the downtrodden people which needs to be serviced by us, instead of facing day to day by our personal vendettas, instead of serving the interest of our people in the metro. When we were moving around doing the mobilization, people raised and dispel their displeasure around the conduct of the alliance leaders. That ubuganga bombutho buyehla kunyuka umgangatho weziqu ezithile nefamily esondeleyo kwinkokheli. This is a responsibility that the party have identified, to say that we must come back as well. That we are committing, comrades, on these two issues. That one, the Communist Party will enroll the program yokujikeleza to all the sub-district. Nina nithi clusters, some of you, but this sub-district convene general meetings of the people so that we can collect all the problems which you have and sidibanise kule white paper which we are about to release. What we have observed and analyzed as the party, Comrade Premier, in the effort of your government and your national government to bring catalytic project in the metro and the investment. But many of our people, when you go to the statistics of 2011, they indicate out of 1.4 million population which we have, 500,000 of people of the metro, they are unemployed. 200,803, those people are the only people working in the metro. That is the problem, comrades, which we want intervene as leaders of the alliance and suppress our egos and vendettas, nongafunani, nongathandani, but being comradely towards each other. So we are saying we must build the ANC-led the alliance, because now the party is no longer the vanguard party alone, but is the mass organization. Now what we must do, we must continue mobilizing members of the society, recruiting members, all members be accepted within the ranks of the alliance, and do away with purging of comrade, because loya nfuna, lower will receive it intact. Comrade Premier, with what Antiochramsky said in his papers and his books, that the old is refusing to die and the new is struggling to be born. But it is different in this phenomenon, Comrade Premier. Currently the metro is led by young people. But we are killing the confidence of our people. All the secretaries of the alliance are young. All of us, we are young. But we do not have an appetite to strive for the betterment of our people. But what we are busy with, indoba itendi nikwabani, ichomyami benefit happy, and all of that is killing the confidence that the people have on us. The city, Comrade Premier, even if we are the majority in council, in the coalition partners, but the city is not led where our offices are. It is led somewhere, probably you can find that in Finesse, with local McKinsey's and young people taking the center stage. Meanwhile, our people are suffering at the end. All the directives are not the product of the alliance in this region. We want to build the alliance, comrades. When we are building the alliance, Comrade Premier, we need to be in touch with the masses of our people. That the ANC and the party and COSATU SANCO, we convene local clusters forum, invite all members of the African National Congress and the party, discuss the roadmap. What is it that we want? What is it that the people want? Instead, yohlala no contractor somewhere. Contractors and McKinsey's, the local McKinsey's, are the few people, and those people are not the majority of us. Comrade Premier, we are requesting you as the district of the party, please, with your collective, assist us to save the ANC. Assist us to save the ANC of the people, the ANC that is centered to the interest of the people. We are not going to leave the ANC. Whether people want us in the ANC or not, we are here to stay. And the leadership is here and leadership will go. But our time to lead will come. That's what we are trying to say, Premier. That as well what we have mentioned, comrades, that we must learn from the history and the polls result. But probably we should start on 2011. See, we never going Premier. But the arrogance of leaders of this movement made us, comrade, when we went to 2014 national government elections, to drop from 61% to 48%. When we came back on 2016, we dropped from 48 to 46. When we went to 2019 national general elections, Comrade Mazwi, then we picked up the graph from 40% to 46.
But when we go to 2021, this is where the consequence management of the ANC must come. What made us to drop from 46% to 38%? We to bring the party and the alliance, comrade, intact. We must be honest with ourselves, comrade. As I'm sitting down, Premier, that we are to visit all the sub-district, comrades. Party when we go. We are calling all members of the community. Currently here we were joined, you have seen, comrades, you were joined by the Patriotic Alliance. It was sitting somewhere here, I'm not sure you have left already. Wanted to welcome that, comrade Premier. But what we are saying to young people of the Communist Party, that the Congress of the YCL is on the 14th of May. Go there, recruit members, start the process and elect youth members. Lastly, before I sit down, Comrade Chair, I will want to quote words, comrade, of Luther. When Martin Luther King, the junior, comrade Premier, he then has this to say. And this is a message to all of us, to leaders of this alliance. No matter how we feel about each other, but we must understand that we are comrades. We are not here to love each other. We are not here for heart matters, but we are here as members of this alliance. Here, this to say that darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. And what I'm leaving you, comrades, with, that love each other, allow members of the ANC and the party COSATU to decide on the route of where, Comrade Nick, we want to see this movement and this metro is. Put the people of this metro as the priority, not your family members. Umandela uthayihlo mihlasele esiyaya dowesizwe lusaka. Umandela uthayihlo, umandela uthayihlo mihlasele esiyaya dowesizwe lusaka. Umabuya uthayihlo, uyabuya uthayihlo mihlasele.
Amandla! Amandla! Ayihlale phansi ibambe umthetho. Ayihlale phansi ibambe umthetho. Comrades, start wasting time. Ndiyanaza nikwazi ukucula red flag, andizunisokolisa ngalonto. Ndiyanazi noma uhobe wesizwe niyawiloza ngamanye amaxesha, andizunicela nalonto niyenze. Andifuni nibonalake kwezo zinto, andifuni nibhaqwe. Kodwa into abasiyenze simple. I think it's important to thank you, dear, for gracing this lecture. The paper I've delivered here will stay out for most of the times to give direction to the organization and the alliance. Let's thank all the members, the Women's League, the Institute League, the YCL, SANCO, and all of us. We know that to be here is a sacrifice. Some of you are not going to be here probably tomorrow. You still have to drive. But without wasting time, all of you are thanked by the Communist Party. We'll do what we were instructed by the chairperson, and we'll do again what the secretary is saying. The meeting